think of what the Eagles offense is right now. Like without his performance and their offense, are we saying the things that we're saying? Like, is it really that much different
I actually
from
want
last
to touch
year?
on this game. Interesting that you bring that up.
Do you? Do you?
So, we're deep in our assessments of the Vikings and the Chargers right now. And so watching that Eagles-Vikings game, the Eagles end up winning 28-22 on Sunday. Jalen Hurts, man. We joke around about, he's a winner. He's a winner. He doesn't have the stats every now and again. But when I watched that tape from last week, wow. So the Vikings went into the game. They were coming off a bye. They had really been struggling stopping the run. Bijan went for 143. Gainwell went for almost 100 and a couple touchdowns. Quinshon Judkins went for 110. He had a 55-yard touchdown that got called back in the Cleveland game. So they came into this out of the bye, and they said, we're going to stop Saquon. He's the best player on the field. We're not going to let him beat us. He had 18 carries for 44 yards. They did their job there. But when you watch Jalen Hurts in this game,
he played, Fitz.
He played, man, and he did it in different ways. The first touchdown to AJ Brown, Minnesota decides to only rush 3. And sometimes this is a hard thing as a quarterback. You're always used to constant pressure and having to escape out of the pocket. And, Jalen Hurts sometimes will escape out of stuff maybe too early, or he'll make an amazing, miraculous move and get out of there. But he sat in the pocket, and he was patient. He realized there was a 3-man rush. There's a guy that dropped to spy him. He was pointing to AJ Brown, had him adjust his route, and threw him a dime for a touchdown. All right, that was one of the touchdowns. And then we had Devonta Smith. It was under center. It was play action. It was in rhythm. It was 2 hitches, and it was a beautiful post just outside the near hash, 79-yard touchdown to Devonta. And then at the very end, to finish off the Vikings, what do? Brian Flores, we need a stop. It's a got-to-have-it moment. Cover 0. They come after him. Kevin Patullo dials up the perfect play, the sluggo to A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts is able to sit back there, deliver the ball, take a hit. I just thought it was a masterclass. And, sometimes people give him a hard time for the way they win games and his stats and everything. I got to make sure we're giving him his flowers for this weekend, because they tried to make Philly one-dimensional. They tried to take away Saquon, and they did. But on throws of over 20 yards, he was 5 for 5 for 215 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he answered the bell because they were going to challenge him, and he did what it took to win that football game, and he played outstanding.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most frustrating part for probably an Eagles fan and any of us that really want to fall in love with the Eagles and say, all right, when I look at this roster and I look at this team, all the things that make them special and who they are is like, one moment you get this game from Jalen where you're like, man, I don't know if he sees the field. I don't know if he's if he understands the concepts or what's going on, but it just feels like he's not doing anything. And then you go watch him play in the Super Bowl multiple times against Chiefs, and you're like, oh my God, this dude's one of the best football players on the planet. Like he plays not just good, he plays great. And so in this game, it's another one of those where you're like, wow, guy looks crazy special. And like, wow, this is what their offense should be. So then I look at it and I go, all right, well, what is it exactly? Is it do the play callers, did you even have trouble as a play caller trusting which version am I getting? And does that make you a little apprehensive to just run the ball or just throw the ball because you're unsure? And I don't mean that as a negative about him. I just mean it is a little bit of a confusing thing to me that one time you see him do this and it's like, wow, this dude has unlimited potential and how good this team could be if he plays like this. Because let me tell you, if they throw the football around like they just did, Saquon Barkley will open up. It's gonna be he's gonna start becoming alive in this offense, and they're gonna have a lot of explosive runs come back. But they may, I think, if you look at how they've started this season, let's try to get the run going. Maybe it's let's come out and sling this thing around, and eventually the run game will open up.
Yeah, I think that's been the biggest thing that confuses me from the year is Saquon and their inability to get him going. And I thought coming out of the bye, that was what they were going to do. It was going to be the Saquon game. He was going to come out. They were going to figure out some ways.
So did my DraftKings, Fitz. So did my DraftKings.
Yeah, well,
unfortunate.
It didn't happen, but the breakout game is coming. I just don't know when.